Hi, I'm Raven, and we're partnering with Renaissance Enterprises to bring you a video series, like a documentary style video production about COVID-19 affecting marginalized groups in Barbados.
Hi, I'm Renee for Renaissance Enterprises. A part of the mandate under Renaissance Enterprises is a social care component. And due to the lockdown and everybody being home, one of our main concerns is what's happening with marginalized persons and persons from vulnerable communities.
Marginalized is LGBT persons, persons with disabilities, however you may fit into that community where you are not widely represented.
To see how they're coping right now, being home, maybe being unemployed, and also generally just family day-to-day life, or the household day-to-day life.
So we've asked people some questions to share their experiences on how they're handling things pre and post COVID-19.
I hope you join us and watch some of the video content that we're sharing, and you as well can comment or share your own experiences under these videos.
And we hope you enjoy this video, so stay tuned and thanks for watching.
Anyway, thank you for listening and join us. So again, thank you for doing this. And as I had mentioned, we're documenting how people are, surviving through this present situation of curfew and lockdown. And we just had a few questions. And as I mentioned before, we're putting together a documentary and it will be used publicly. So just making sure that you're okay with all of that before I proceed.
Yeah, that's fine. That's not a problem.
Okay, good. So my first thing, and if it's too personal, you don't have to answer, but my first question would be around what is your current employment situation or status?
Well, I'm still employed, so that's a good thing.
Okay. And for you, are you actively working from home or are you going into an office? What is that?
We're working from home.
Okay. And how has that change or having to do that been for you?
Well, it's a little challenging because my job, I'm the business development officer at the company where I work. Mm-hmm. And it's insurance, it's a brokerage. And really and truly, I'm supposed to be interfacing with, potential clients and stuff. So with the lockdown, you can't get in front of people, and calling to talk about insurance could be seen as a little bit, I'll say rude, but not that rude, is it? Because everybody's dealing with the COVID-19 on different levels. So for me to pick up the phone and call somebody just to talk about work, could be, people would not readily receive it as if we weren't going through the crisis that we're going through right now. So yeah. It's a challenge for me from that standpoint.
Yeah. No, I totally understand.
I'm self-employed. I do stuff to get my money, like stuff I would say can't put on camera.
You can say if you want. That is your story.
Okay.
You tell the public how you want them to see.
Alright, I'm a sex worker, as you can see, but I don't want a lot more extra because I try to keep stuff to myself, but who know. And I try to make my living by prostituting, get money in my pocket, help myself, because I don't want to live off my family. It's no job to me right now because all the stuff that's going on with me personally, like, I can't get done. So if we could actually get.
So you're doing survival sex work?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm actually trying to find out because I was laid off until the 14th when everyone thought that quarantine would be ending on the 14th. So now I have to find out what's going to be happening with that situation because it's been extended until May 4th.
Yeah. How was life and how were things going just before we went into this curfew for you, be it personal or work-wise?
Well, like I say, work-wise, I'm a on-the-road type person, so everything is a business opportunity for me. Even to go lunch, you're going to meet somebody and you're going to talk to them about what I do, what they do, trying to seek out business. So life was great. You get in your car, you could go here, there, or what we say yonder. um, so now to have a 180-degree turn, where everything is limited to a particular time. You could go shopping at a particular time. It can be challenging for an active person like myself.
Well, the first I would say that the lockdown was kind of hectic for me, like stress, because before the lockdown, it was going good. Like I was making no coins and having fun and partying and stuff. But now the lockdown is like stressing me because I can't do nothing like I want to do, like spend money and party and shop how I want to shop and go. But like I used to do different events and nothing not coming up for me because the COVID-19 is what got me home. I will let everything back to normal. But as the Prime Minister is doing, she trying to get everybody to be safe and don't get sick and be healthy and stuff. I understand that, but the part is I'm vexable that these she extended too long because they think she said the third of next month we should be going back to normal, but I can't deal with the pain no more. It feel like ever like another year is coming.
Okay, so before the lockdown or before the COVID, did you understand what social distancing meant?
Yes. Me can be so close to each person, can be in groups, can't be crowded like a bundle of
Right.
clothes. So you gotta like keep a distance for each person to everything's back to normal. But the Prime Minister is doing her best and trying her best if she can to get it done and get the way.
It was mostly like going to work, coming home, going to sleep, waking up, going back to work. Nowadays is a lot less of editing, to be honest.
Um, Overall, I would say that well, obviously, I had way more movement, freedom of movement, and all of that, prior to this 24-hour situation that we're under. Um, but primarily, um, it was like for me, I was actually able to see like the gradual progression of leading up to a shutdown, based on like a lot of factors and stuff that were going on locally. Um, in a sense, I wasn't able to prepare as I would have liked to, um, because I wasn't sure if it would have led up. Like, even though you could see it was leading up to that, I wasn't able to ensure, like, for myself, okay, well, most likely by next week, Wednesday, this is what it will be. Like, there was that. Also, work-wise, um, like, as soon as it became a major issue in the US and UK and whatnot, um, we opted to close our doors at work and then, more take up the angle of doing stuff from an online standpoint for things, and then the constant sanitizing at work, you know, um, sometimes it felt like it was overkill, but you could see that it was a necessary precaution, for the situation at hand. Um, I was like every weekend, for example, I was going by my dad, and what it was like, even when particular things were instituted here, I was still, I was still going, I was still going by him. Like when they were saying about no um, casual visiting and all that, that's what I was still going by my dad because I wanted to ensure that because like I go over by him on a weekend and clean, right? So I was like, well, if I don't go, then the house is gonna you know
Hmm.
get dirty to a degree, and then he's gonna be at risk. So it was a give and take situation there. But what I did do in particular was I stopped using public transportation system for sure. So I was riding to work and riding home. just to ensure that I was keeping a distance, like a personal distance from, like closed spaces like that, with unpredictable variables, because I don't know who's been around who and all of that. So that was my personal precautions for that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um, I kind of want to get a feeling of like how life was for you before the curfew happened and the lockdown happened. Like, what was your kind of routine or day to day? What were you up to?
Okay. Um, so I started my own business in September. So I think I was going through the natural September of 2019. So I was kind of going through the natural process of I just started being an entrepreneur and it's like struggle, struggle, struggle. Like, how am I going to pay my bills? Hard to find clients. And around like December, January is when things started to pick up. And I was getting clients like left, right, center. So around like March, February, like things were looking really good, like way better than I could have anticipated. If anybody had told me that my business would be successful at that point in time, I would have been like, "You're an idiot." But it was going really well. Like I had like really big clients, and then I had people were actually coming to me to give me work. And then coronavirus hit. Um, and then as soon as that happened, it was just kind of this like slow, like, we're sorry, we're gonna have to take a pause right now. Aside from that, like personally, I started dating kind of around the same time, like when I started um, becoming an entrepreneur, so like September, October, and it was a long distance relationship. It is a long distance relationship, sorry, it is. Um, we kind of had this arrangement where I would go up and see them like every month, or
Yeah.
he would come down here every month. But that obviously can't happen now because like I want to say I was supposed to go up there in March, and then coronavirus.
Yeah.
So
Travel
travel
Border
restrictions. So now
closure.
we're in this kind of situation where we're like we don't know when we're going to see each other again, and we're trying to navigate this whole long distance, like a proper long distance thing. Aside from that, it's pretty normal. But I think those are two things. Like those are two things in my life that I think I value very highly, like love and career, and they
Yeah.
were like really really good, really good. Yeah.
Yeah.
To be honest, I've always been reserved. So the whole impact the COVID-19 is not really gonna was not gonna affect my daily runnings in terms of I keep it to myself and stuff like that. But it's just a little bit annoying because it actually just took away my choice. I choose
Right.
I choose to be home.
As opposed to be
being told that I have no choice.
like a dog. Sit.
And I would say the hardest part in terms of just keeping my toddler engaged in something, keeping him occupied.
Right. So, how is it now that you are told to stay in one place due to the impacts of the COVID on the world and the local economy because you work in the tourism service industry? So,
and everything is at a pause in terms of where I work, the whole service industry, everything's at a pause. So nothing is guaranteed. But at the end of the day, I still can't allow my sons to see it affect me. I still have to be present for them regardless. I'll work with that a little bit later. I was still able to adapt. I tend to go with the flow, try not to like affect me too much. But yeah, it's still lingering in the back of my mind. I end it. It's like living, not knowing what's gonna happen in terms of a timeline.
yeah, that definitely is on the back of everybody's tongues, like when is it going to end? When are we gonna go back to work? That kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And you just kind of mentioned like being challenged and stuff. What are some of the changes and how are you coping with this curfew and now being in 24-hour lockdown?
Initially, it was hard because, moving from getting in your car, going to work, going to look for a friend, or going out to eat with your friends, to again the restriction of being at home. It was hard, let's say maybe in the first week, but after I kind of downloaded some stuff on my phone, I got a book, so I started to read, and the more interaction with people that you might not have necessarily been in contact with before, the pandemic took over. So you're actually now messaging your family more. Well, I'm messaging my family more, having longer conversations with them, because it's not like you could run them along and say, "Oh, I gotta go back to work," or "I gotta go and do this," because it's really not that there's nothing to do, but there's nothing urgent to be done. Also the cooking and cleaning the house, that kind of stuff. So I've taken the time to kind of get to know people a little bit more. Spend time, not physical time, but spend time chatting with people, and even trying to find out, like, with my younger brothers and them, helping them get stuff, essential stuff, because one of them, he ended up losing his job. So I, spent some money and stuff trying to help him get some stuff until his unemployment checks start to rolling.
Yeah.
What do you do to cope with the lockdown currently?
Well, I have to burn off my phone, like do appointments and stuff, like people that personally I see they will call me and like I will meet them, but nothing not going on right now because everybody's scared of the COVID-19 and people trying to like keep safe and healthy and stuff like that. But the honest truth with me, I would eat safe for myself because I would not let that say the fresh and clean and they go with them and get sick. So before they do it shows the distance from people too.
Well, as a person who spent a majority of their time trying to get out of the house, is annoying. Um, being home all the time with nothing to do, and everyone else being home, so it's a lot of personalities clashing. Um, I would say that I spend most of my time in my bedroom on my laptop,
Okay.
just doing random things.
Okay. Um, we've obviously been told to social distance, um, or physical distance from people. Um, has not being able to socialize have had any impact on you?
Um, not being able to leave the house have had an impact because it's mainly like getting away from the house. That's why most people leave home anyway. Um, but I'm almost always constantly on a Skype call with friends.
Right. How has social media actually been useful for you to deal with being at home so much?
Surprisingly, it hasn't been useful because I don't know, everyone is home, but yet no one's replying to messages. So it's like a really weird silence because we know that everyone is home,
Mm-hmm.
but yet no one is replying to messages, or they're taking really long to reply to messages, our conversations are really dry. So yeah.
Um, for you, and I guess if you're having this like I guess lull in how people are interacting, has that impacted you in any way, like feelings or mentally?
mm, no. um I do suffer from anxiety and depression, a lot of that. I'm usually medicated. I'm not right now. Been working on getting back on my meds. So I wouldn't say anything recently have really put any strain on it. Um, it's been a constant in my life. So I haven't felt any difference compared to when before.
Mhm. Actually, as you just said, you're trying to get back on meds. Has this lockdown affected, like, do you have regular therapy sessions? And if so, has this impacted your able to have therapy sessions?
Um, Before I never really had constant therapy sessions. It like what really happens is when I started it was going good. I was able to when I got the meds I was able to really go to the sessions and stuff because I would have the energy, but as soon as the meds ran out it was like I no longer had the energy to push myself to go and do this. So I kind of stopped. It's only recently that I started talking back to Jamal over Skype.
Okay. And I will pause and say that that is your therapist.
Yeah.
Yes, good.
You mean outside of binge watching every possible TV series that they could think of?
That
Um,
is, yes, part of it, yes.
because I'm fully watched up and caught up on practically everything. I think the next thing is Game of Thrones from season 3 right up the line. Um, but overall, it's been a challenge. Don't get me wrong, because the 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 national shutdown of the supermarkets, that caused a bit of an issue because the turnaround that the supermarkets have done now is that they're putting out the groceries for you, and then you literally take what you get, kind of thing. And so you don't have the option of choosing what you want. And then the village shops, stuff is a little bit more highly priced. Um, but again, like my view on it is that it could be worse. The things could be extortionately priced. For me, given the present situation, I think it's reasonable to a degree. I did have a challenge the other day where I was trying to get a bottle of gas, and we literally drove around to about 3 to 4 or more gas stations, and we couldn't get gas from any of them. Like, gas was sold out because persons were on that said day and beforehand buying 2 and 3 bottles of gas, probably even more. Literally hoard gas. And yeah. So there was that challenge. Eventually, did get some the other day. Um, what else is there? And then there's this situation, like in my neighborhood, for example, there's a shop close by that there's literally a line there. I don't know when it opens because I don't go to it. Um, but there's literally a line there that lasts forever, and it's not like a long line like how it was at Popular Discount and whatnot. But um, you like there's no waiting area. Like there's a shaded area, yeah, but you don't want to have too many people in our shaded area. And then the next shop down, there's not a lot of variety, And then if you do get in the shop, then there's probably a limited amount of things of, particular um, necessity, so to speak, that you could buy. So again, it's a give and take, So like for me, going out and battling this situation is more of what do I need compared to what do I want, you know. And that's how I've been, like negotiating with myself basically on going out or not going out. Like, and again, there's no need for me to go out. Like, I have pretty much everything I need here. Once the light is on, once the water's running, once I have food and internet, I'm good. Um, and once
Okay.
my rent is paid, but there are those challenges that one does have to tackle from time to time.
It's hard. I mean, at first I was thinking, okay, let me just kind of use this as a moment to reset. So I was kind of glad that things were slowing down. And I kind of took it as like a little mini vacation at first. Like, okay, I'm just not gonna not do any work for a little bit, sleep in, that kind of thing. But then it kind of hit me like, oh, I have bills to pay. Um, so I don't know what I'm gonna do. So it kind of forced me to, from a business perspective, to get really creative and find ways to still generate income, or at least generate some awareness for my brand and what I'm doing. So I've been doing that. Fortunately, it's been working out. Some business has actually come through. So that's been good. So I think forcing myself to be creative in that lane, and I think especially because I work in mostly like a digital sphere, it's kind of helped, because obviously this is especially in like Barbados, like it's a country that's very much been opposed to any kind of digital marketing or digital business for a very long time, and now it's like you don't have a choice, guys. So it's
Yeah.
been beneficial for people in my lane somewhat. But aside from that, what I thought originally was a vacation has turned into more of misery for the most part. I have really good days. Today has been a really good day, mentally. But then I have days that are pretty devastating. Stuck in bed, can't do anything, don't want to talk to anybody, don't want to eat, just kind of depressed. And just, I think overall anxiety, just the uncertainty of everything scares me. Yeah, I think that scares me a lot. And having friends and loved ones who are either in groups that are more susceptible than others, or might be kind of essential workers, is giving me a little bit of anxiety too. And then obviously just not being able to see my partner has been very rough. I think yesterday for me was mostly about that. The uncertainty of when I'm going to see him again. That's been really difficult. But I'm navigating it as best as I can.
So actually, you would have mentioned feeling depressed and anxiety. Are you, or have you in the past like had to deal with anxiety and depression?
Yeah. Yeah. And it's usually, I find it's usually seasonal, actually. I find it's usually the beginning of the year, like January to April. So
Yeah.
it's kind of, we're kind of in that phase right now. I find normally for me, like mentally, I'm really, really good from, this has been like the last 4 years this has been happening. Usually from like June to the end of the year, like I'm pretty good. But the start of the year has always been really rough for me, and I haven't really figured out why that is. But so it's normal to some degree, but it's definitely spiking. I'm having higher peaks of it than normal. It's coming out more regularly. So it's a challenge. To the point today, I've never spoken about my mental health with my mother. And today was the first time that I had a conversation with her about it, because I was actually worried about myself, and I felt like I needed to talk to somebody who is somebody that I would not normally go to. So I kind of went to her, and she was really helpful, surprisingly helpful actually. But yeah, I do experience it, but I think this is the worst I've experienced.
Okay, so how are you mentally, physically coping during the lockdown?
Mentally, I just took the opportunity to reflect on myself and who I am, my purpose, what adjustments I would like to make after I finish the whole lockdown. I just trying to look at it as something as how I could better myself and not keep looking at the negative all the time, because every time you turn on the TV, it's just COVID-19.
News about COVID.
Yeah. So, and it tends to play on your head. When you watch something long enough and it's just being redone constantly, it takes a toll.
Like brainwashing.
Yeah. So I just trying, yes, my love. Okay. So I just trying to
I can't all pay my numbers.
say my prayers, and I try to get outside every day. I will go outside probably in the patio at least for an hour a day. That way he could run around and I could just
Thank you.
breathe in the fresh air.
Yeah.
So, in terms of having your toddler with you, he's how
Mommy,
old?
my phone
3.
ringing.
So, how is it with him being constantly home, not being able to go to school, engage with his friends?
It's hard because he doesn't understand and he doesn't care. He's 3 and he wants to go outside and he wants to go with his friends. He do not care how or when. He just want it done. So it's tough trying to have to explain to him, well, you can't go outside and play with this person or that person. You can't go outside with Joshua. Joshua is quarantined. What is a quarantine? I want some. You have your own in the fridge. You could just sit and relax yourself, sir.
Okay, so I guess that's one of the stressors for some people, having children under a certain age, or children in general.
Yeah.
Dealing with this thing, and some of them not understanding why they can't go to school, or can't go outside as they like, going to the beach.
Are there any concerns or fears that you may have when you think about after COVID and us going forward, and as well as suggestions?
Well, not going forward, it would not be business as usual. I could see Barbados being in the red, if I say red or another color, up until probably December, because business is now gonna build back. The person's unemployed, still gotta wait a while until they can get back in the system, and the system being employment. So it's going to be a challenge even after we come out of this whole pandemic crisis. So I really don't know what, to be honest right now, I don't know what can be done, because everybody will still need to continue to help each other. Those who got a little, if you could give somebody a piece, everybody will still be turning, the wheels will still be turning, even though they may be turning slower than we are accustomed to, at least they're turning. So I think that would be my only thing is that persons still need to pull together even after they give us the green light, that we can go back out and don't go back out in a rush to, start back doing the things that we were so accustomed doing up until March or whenever the first shutdown, the first curfew started. But go back out being mindful of the fact that people are going to still be unemployed, and we can still got to try to be our brother's keepers as much as possible.
Yeah. Very, very.
That would be my only contribution for that part.
What are some of your fears during this period?
Well, nothing not going on right now for me. So I just at home most of the time. Relaxing myself on my phone, messaging, talking, and stuff like that. So I just feel angry and vexed because enough money not coming in for me. But if I could get a less normal little job for time, like cleaning houses or helping around salons, that could help me get a little down in pocket. But right now the boy is saying nothing but setting the health and the family. You should work on first. So it can't be selfish and greedy and unkind to people that have stuff to deal with and responsibility in the hand to work with. So right now for me, what I can say is just keep my distance and wait till I get back to normal and pray that Barbados is gonna cure fast. That I take back to normal.
So you're fearful that because you're not able to go and do the survival sex work, you're fearful that you won't have any money to do things for yourself, buy essential items that you would need during this period, and in the future you probably would not have as much money based on the lockdown period, which has stifled pretty much your interactions with the persons you do your business with.
Yes, please. I just praying that everything's back to normal because I don't like living off of people, and I said all the time, the boy don't owe me anything, I should own the boy anything, but in its principles in that because I have a lot of stuff on my handy David, and I can't get David how I want David. Like, I still working for event, and I accept because that was like a little small job for me getting tips or whatever, but that didn't come up. But just pray that everything back to normal fast. Space called right now, I have no money, I have no job, and the only thing I can do is to survive myself.
Um, Pretty irrelevant one, but basically being in my house for my birthday,
Mm-hmm.
and it's already cutting really close because now we're in May, and I was born in May.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's really about it. Yeah, I'm not really bothered by anything else much. Pretty sure it's just another pandemic. Over time, people will wise up and it can go away.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll say this for sure. This pandemic is going to be etched in our minds through the annals of history going forward. Um, and there's going to be a lot of lessons to be learned from this situation. And again, it's going to, for a lot of people, especially myself, it's boiling down to, and has boiled down to, wants and needs, and like reassessing like our particular place in the our minute grand scheme of things, so to speak. Like where we fit in within our society or our communities, um, and the impact that we have on that. But even something as simple as this call, for example, um, is allowing is like you can look back at this and be like, okay, well, these are personal experiences, of persons that have have been through this situation and how they've combated the situation and how they plan to get through it. I also like hearing their personal opinions and feedback and perspectives on this said situation. But overall, like I've been enjoying myself. Don't get me wrong. I've been enjoying myself during this downtime. I've been catching up, going to sleep. I've also been going to sleep late and getting up late. Again, just doing as I please sometimes. Other times sticking to a schedule, and again, it's been fun, but I'm not blind to the fact that these are very uncertain economic times going forward, and I do recognize that I would say like there there is a need to, again, like for persons to just reassess like what it is they really like going forward, because we don't know what tomorrow brings. We don't know what tomorrow brings, and but we do want to ensure that we have a brighter tomorrow. So how am I contributing to that today? That's the question I ask myself on a daily basis. Yeah.
From a business perspective, it's being an entrepreneur is hard just because even when things are going good, clients typically will take forever to pay you. So even though a few things have been going really well for me since COVID-19 and the lockdown here, I'm cognizant of the fact that these businesses have their own issues, and it's normal for them to take forever to pay small businesses. So I'm aware of the fact that they will probably take even longer. Um, So I'm a little worried about rent and bills and groceries and how I'm gonna afford everything. I've had family members who, like close family members who are not working right now. So it's kind of this thing in like a lot of Black families is and I can't remember what TV show I heard this from, but like the Black tax, you kind of have to give back to your family. So I'm not just kind of working for myself right now. I'm kind of like trying to make sure that I can work for everybody. So I think that's the pressure of that is kind of getting to me too. But I'm just trying to take it day by day. What I've been telling myself is, you're not the only one that's struggling with this.
Right.
So you're gonna be fine. That is my like daily mantra. It doesn't work every time I say it to myself, but it's better than nothing. What else? One of the issues I have sometimes that kind of spurs on my depression is this is the feeling of loneliness. I have this idea that I don't really think people really care about what I have to say or are really interested in me as a whole, as a concept, as a person, as a friend, or anything. I know it's irrational, but it's there, and I've been feeling like some really intense loneliness. It's I guess being stuck inside makes that way worse, because before I could force myself to get off the couch or my bed, because really and truly I've been in my bed. Like, I live with my brother, but I usually stay in my room, in my bed, door closed, period. Even when I'm in a good mood, I just kind of have always been, when I'm a homebody, I'm kind of in my room. So it's so, but we normally, when I want to stop that, I would get out of the house, go by my best friend, go to the beach, go to a bar. Even if it's by myself, I think feeling the energy of other people is good for me. So it's been really difficult to do that, to kind of not have that option. I went to a bakery on Thursday, and just being around people, which is something I feel like normally I'd be like, ugh, but just being around people who were not even like following the 6 feet social distancing rule, I was like, yes, I'm here for this. So I think the loneliness is crazy. It's like, as Britney Spears would say, my loneliness is killing me.
Okay, so what are some of your fears during this period and for the future, if any?
Just in terms of my fear for now, I could just have to focus on making sure, because he's not in school. So, and I don't want to put all of the pressure of me being a teacher. Okay? I do not want to blame myself. At the end, I can only do how much I can.
Right.
I still want to keep him occupied, still want him to learn and stuff like that. So I've downloaded apps, and so in terms of when in the mornings he would get up and he would do some work, and he would learn his numbers, and he would do his alphabet, and we'll tackle some words for him to spell and stuff like that. In terms of playing on the inside, it'll probably just like make up games. Like, we found old pet bottles and we did the whole bowling inside.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he enjoyed that until he nearly tried to break a lamp. But yeah, you just don't know when it come point. But in terms of work, that still plays on you, because at the end of the day, you still need an end date, and the type of industry that I'm in will be the last to open up.
Yeah, because you depend on tourism,
Yes.
and currently
There's none. And the way that everything is going on overseas, to be quite honest with you, it's not looking like, because you keep hearing their time is 12 to 18 months. They expect everything to be back together 12 to 18. I don't have 12 to 18 months to pay lights and power. Okay? I don't have 12 to 18 months to pay digital. At the end of the day, we still want to get back to normal stuff. And like me, I'm a single mom. I don't know how to. I still need to get out, and I don't know how my life is gonna go after, or how long it's going to be like that. So I just don't know.
So, in terms of any specific fears for the future, in terms of like you're temporarily laid off, do you think you're going to be fired or possibly
No.
laid off without being renewed or rehired or
Basically, and then I'll have to start from scratch in terms of looking for fresh work, and you don't know how is that going to play out because a lot of other persons are employed like myself, so it's going to be a battleground for jobs.
and then NAS is swamped with the unemployment.
And then you have to be waiting for that. All you could do is every time you hear the postman, you get little butterflies to make sure is that for me now? Is it my turn? These bills have to be paid.
Yeah.
Again, I have to say thank you so much for doing this, and
No problem.
always a pleasure having a conversation with you.
Anytime, any place.
Well, Nicole, thank you so much for doing the interview on persons affected by COVID-19.
Welcome.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's it. Thank you so much for taking the time to answer some of these questions. We may, as this situation continues and changes and grows, come back and say, hey, we have a few more things. But again, yeah, thank you for doing this today.
That's no problem, Renee. You know, I'm always willing to help you with anything. That's fine.
All right. Well, I'm going to end recording now.
Thank you very much for sharing your story.
Thank you.
And we hope that the persons that may find a cure for COVID as soon as possible, so we can all retain some level of normalcy, and you can get your money and do as you need to
And
get
one more
somebody.
thing, and please find help the ones that really need, like the ones that HIV is, please.
Again, thank you. This is
Yeah, you're welcome.
very insightful. Thanks. Thank you.
All right, bye.
Bye.